Good morning. It's Norma Cowie with Norma Talks. Last week, I talked a little bit about how the one symbology of the Tower talks about how we think. And so this is going to be part two. So it's going to complete the rest of that suit. I mentioned that we have an idea, which is the ace. We contemplate the idea with the two, letting go. Here's the old established, and here's the new. We think about, in other words, we think about it. This is an important one. We project the wands out with a thought out into the world. We maybe do research. We maybe just talk about it to people. But the main thing, we get it started. We get the thought, which is our goal. Remember that, it's our goal, as out there. And then we reach the goal. So everything is happy, successful, and we feel good. I also talked about this one where we get confused. Other people don't always agree with our ideas or goals or what we're doing. And so we defend them and fight. Now, this can be happening right in your head. We get our ideas all going in different directions, but what if, and maybe, and perhaps, and oh my goodness, what am I going to do then? And so we can get quite scrambled inside our head when we've got a goal that we want. So the key is the 6, which is to keep your thoughts organized, clear, know where they are, and move forward. And it says here, victory is assured. So that is what we really like to do. What do we do very often besides being scrambled? We defend and justify. We tell our friends, they go, wow, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's not going to work. And so very often when we're doing goal setting and things, it's like keep your goals to yourself and share them with people that will support them. And that's why they have different groups that support that work with you to help you create your goals. And so anyway, here he is feeling insecure, unsure, battling away with opposition. People don't always support your ideas for various reasons. And the key is to create a group of friends that does support you, does work with you. Now, if you do that, if you're clear, this is what's happening here. If you follow the first 4 symbol, can't even say the word, symbols, have a goal, contemplate the goal, project the goal, reap the reward. Sometimes it takes time for the end result to come in. And this is what 8 is. 8's showing us that everything is coming together. There's a castle up on the hill here. There's the river of life. And it's all coming. It's actually quite similar to the ace symbol, but except these are all in the air coming down, but they will be landing. So it's all in order there. Now, what happens when they land? Your goal is manifested. Now, often one has to rearrange their goals a little bit when they manifest because the reality can be different than what you project in your head. So here now we have got in the 9, he's defending his ideas. He's justifying what it is and where it is. So he's not really open, but it's like, this is it. But also can look at it. Sorry, I'm going to slow down. He can also look at this from a different angle, that he's going to go ahead no matter what. He's committed to his journey. And then I always find this 10 comes up a lot for people because I call it the worry card. Here's where you're right there pretty well at your goal, but sometimes your mind is so full of things, the old saying, you can't see the wood for the trees. It's full of the what ifs, maybes, perhapses, maybe criticisms, maybe uncertainty. They're not rooted in the ground like 9 is. Number 9, they're all rooted in the ground. This one, they're all up in the air. And very often I find the 5, which is the one where it's kind of fighting, and this one comes together because your mind is all over the place. So it's really important to be able to, I always say to my clients, okay, what you're needing to do here is grab your ideas, put them on your shoulder. I mean, they're still your ideas, but so that you still have sight of the goal. The important thing here is in the goal. And to remember that really it's the first 4 that we work with, because they're the ones that show how and what we need to do to manifest, to create. The rest is just where we get sidetracked and bringing things back into focus, etc. Now, if you're not familiar with the tarot, each suit has 10 symbols and then 4 court cards, which I call attitudes, which show your attitudes. Now, the page here, I've got to make sure my light isn't shining. There we go. He's contemplating his idea. Now, but look where he's looking, right at the very top. And sometimes with a page, you've got this new idea, and so you get absorbed in it, takes over. So that's all you see is this part of an idea, maybe not even fully, but you are thinking about the idea and you're very absorbed in the idea. So you don't really listen to anything else that's going on. But eventually you're going to have to do something, and that's the knight. I really like this knight. He's got a good command of his horse. Most things are moving in the direction that he wants. His wand is there. He knows what his idea is. He's got a lot of energy, and he's ready to put it into action. And that's important. And I have to admit, this next symbol, the queen, I lived for a lot of years till I began to figure things out for myself. Now, the queen sits there. She has her wand on this side. I know the symbol so well, but you'll notice she's looking off, and between her wand is a cat. Now, I can't remember. Oh dear, I'm having a senior moment. Anyway, the cat is your emotions. The emotions are sitting in between your goal, which you're looking at, which is where on the same side that your sunflower is, and this cat is your emotions, your fear, your anxiety. And so things that we are not, this is not. Also, the other thing I like about this symbol is that this wand is not grounded. It's on her stage of her throne. So it's not grounded. So it could flip around a lot and go in many, many different directions. But I do know that symbol very well. So I had to learn about my fears. I had to come to terms with them. I had to get my head straight. That's why I know quite a bit of how to work with your thinking, because I had to do that to begin to create what I wanted to create in my life. Now, the final one is the king. Now, but look here, I just want you to compare. His wand, his thought, is right attached to the ground. Everything about this is a person that's in command of who he is. There's only one thing that I found with this particular symbol. And because I couldn't figure it out. For years, I used to read in a store, and I would read a lot when I first began, and I was reading for a lot of businessmen, and I couldn't figure out why this card would show up and they weren't succeeding. Like, what's going on here? And then I realized that he procrastinates. There's nothing really in here too much that says that, but he does. And why does he procrastinate? Because he has the ability to see a long way, and he therefore can see every obstacle that can come up. And instead of walking the path, because I find paths often move in different directions, not always straight, and you might avoid a lot of what you're seeing, he will often procrastinate or wait too long. And that's why a lot of my clients way back then, when I first began to be aware, and I had to sit down and meditate and say, okay, what actually are you doing? And he told me he wants to be sure. So very often, that's one of the pitfalls we do when we want to create. We want to be sure of every step. But if you think back to number 4, on the first 4 symbols, it doesn't say that. It says, you have your idea, you contemplate your idea, then you kind of work it out. Then you project your idea. That's the doing of it. And it's step by step. It's not, all you need is your end result. You got to know where you're going. And then you have flexibility. And very often when we do thinking and relating to achieving our goals, we forget that. We forget the flexibility. We forget that when something comes up, we can deal with it. But when we're looking at a pathway and we see everything, we see all the obstacles that could happen and may happen, that's when we'll procrastinate, or we'll make it so much that the old saying, you can't see the wood for the trees. and then you don't create what you want to create. It is better to just hold your goal and then go one step at a time, making the alterations that you need to do as you go along, because it means you're more open and more flexible and more aware. But if you understand how thought works, because to me, the thoughts are your framework of your life, and we all aren't perfect. So very often we do get into those worry thoughts, or we can get into the confusion thoughts or defending thoughts. And it's just something to be aware of, that this is a way in which to go. But I know that you can do it, because you get to understand how your thinking works, how your thinking is. So it's a matter of just trusting and moving forward and adjusting and knowing that, yes, you will create what it is that you're wanting. Now, I must say one thing. When you have the thought, you need that to be the end result of what you're wanting, not a step towards what you're wanting. I find a lot of people get caught up in the step and they think that's the goal, but it isn't. The end result is what you want, the end, whatever that may be. And so that's the part 2 of the wand symbology. And I trust that aids you in just becoming more aware of how you think on the inside, because what you think on the inside is projected to the outside. And we want you to succeed. We want you to have what you want to create. Sometimes we create things, and when we get them, we'll go, this isn't quite what I wanted. So we then change again. But that's growth, and that's life, and that's being able to be flexible, because flexibility is a large part. Flexibility doesn't really come up too much in the wands, a little bit more in some of the other suits. But anyway, I trust you enjoyed this. And also, I needed to say up front, and I forgot, thank you so much for the comments. I'm getting lots of comments, especially from Monday night mental mind treatments, and a few from a Sunday thought. So I really appreciate every one of them. Many people share things, and I appreciate that again. I really do. So I want you to go and have a great day, great week, great month. Month's we're over halfway now. Can you believe it? In January already. So you take care, enjoy. Well, don't take care that you're not, but enjoy. Enjoy is the main thing. Have a great one. Bye now.